Although it may not be required, I do recommend wearing full gear and using crash protection for your motorcycle. Ladies and gentle people, today's video, we're going to do a figure eight. What does a figure eight help you with? Figure eight will help you with right turns, left turns, U-turns, lane changes, and swerves. It's all like within the figure eight if you think about it now. These are the little cheap plastic little cones. Got them at Walmart. I think you get like 25 of these little cones for like $10 or $15. I think about $15. You get like 25 cones. And the idea is I'm going to go the path of travel. I'm going to go diagonally between them. Immediately turn around to look at them and come back around and go diagonally between them the opposite direction when I'm going this way. So I can look at them, come back this way, go diagonally between them again. Going diagonally between them and see if I can get around. Oh, that is the widest figure eight ever. Plus I put my foot down. So I'm going to set this up a little bit differently, because that wasn't working quite as well as I thought it would. Alright. This should be. Now I got a central place, and then you got this line right here in the middle to look at while you're doing that at the same time. Approach these cones diagonally between the cones, and then look. Wide ass U-turn, but that's fine. But it trains you to turn around and go ahead and, ooh, I went way too wide. Could not make that. As soon as I get past the cones, I want to turn, you want to turn your head and then turn the bars. And you're looking for the cones, so you go diagonally between them again. And like I said, if you go a little bit beyond the parking space, that's fine. If you go beyond the two lines, that's also okay too. And it's all just practice. Went a little wide, but that's fine. That's perfectly fine. You're training yourself to get the feel for it, right? And I'll go out of these lines if I want to. A couple feet out of this parking space, that's perfectly fine. Turn your head, turn the bike, counter lean. And it trains you to be able to transition back and forth, counter lean, make sure you add enough throttle, a little bit of throttle, to keep the bike from falling over, diagonally across the cones. There's my figure eight, dude. Turn your head, turn the bike. We've gone over everything else so far in some of my previous videos. And I'm not worried about how far across the line I go, or how far past the parking spaces I go. Don't worry about that at first. And two cones, maybe 5 or 6 minutes. You know, get between them, turn your head, look for the cones again, because you want to go between them. I'm way over here. I have to correct that, but that's fine. Didn't counter lean enough on that last one. Look at that. Counter lean just perfectly fine. And I'm looking for the cones again. Soon as you get past the cones, look for them, counter lean. But that's how you do figure eights. And you do this for about 4 or 5 minutes. Find a shady place to park and go ahead and hop off the bike. You're using throttle. I used just a little bit of throttle. I mean, just a tiny amount of throttle. Stayed into friction zone. And you don't even necessarily need cones. I think the cones just make it a little bit easier. And these cones aren't even evenly spaced apart. Look at that. 1, 2, 2.5. 1, 2, 3 for that one. Oh well. So it's just all the stuff I mentioned, or the rest of the videos in this series. So what was that? You know, clutch control, friction zone, tiny amount of throttle, transitioning back and forth. Everything that we talked about all combined. And once again, it's got to help you, right turns, left turns, U-turns, lane changes, and swerves. And the reason you're doing stuff like this, your skill level should always be higher than it needs to be in a normal situation in case an abnormal situation occurs. So if you can do a figure eight in a little bit more space than 4 parking spaces, and eventually within 4 parking spaces, you'll be able to do like regular turns or easy. You want the most difficult stuff you do is out in the parking lot under controlled conditions. Well, anyway, there you have it. Set up a couple cones, and like I said, you practice for a few minutes. Let the bike and your clutch cool down for about 10 to 15 minutes. Ignore that. And mosey on home, dude. Buzz on Gus. Act natural. Okay, he's gone. Hey y'all, do me a favor. Please click like and subscribe. It helps me big time in the algorithm. And click the bell icon so you know when new videos drop. And go ahead and check out the video on screen. You know you want to.